Welcome to the Builders Podcast, episode 94, Client Retention, 9 areas you need to pay attention to, including controlling growth. Before we jump into this episode, please subscribe to this podcast, hit that notification bell if you're on YouTube, and after a listen, please give us a thumbs up, like, and share, if we've earned it. With your help, we can reach more people and deliver these valuable from the trenches lessons to those that need it. Enjoy the episode. Hello. Long time no solo episode. Welcome to another The Builders. Today you just got me, and we are going to talk about a very important aspect of my agency and probably a lot of businesses. We're going to talk about retention. Client retention for me could be customer retention, any kind of retention of business. So whatever that business is, it's something that's very important. We go out, we spend a lot of time and effort and energy acquiring business, or we, nurture relationships, get referrals, do all this stuff to get business. And then once you have it, I think it's important to keep it as much as possible. But there's challenges in that, right? There's challenges because we also want to grow. We want to get new business. And what can happen, though, is that when you're putting all that energy into getting new business, following up leads, building new relationships, networking, advertising, whatever you're doing, put all that energy in, and you're getting all this new business coming in, you're onboarding new stuff, you're estimating, doing whatever you're doing. It's very easy to lose control of what you already have. And for my agency, for my business, my current client base is everything. It's everything. It's something that I worked hard to get. I worked hard to get to where I am now. And I don't want anything to have any kind of ripple effect on business I already have that can disrupt that relationship, that could have those people leaving at some point. But there is a lot of things that kind of go into this and to be able to retain. And part of the reason I'm talking about this too is I actually got on a call with a client. Hi, if you're watching this. I know he just follows some of my stuff. He's been a client for probably a year and a half, something like that. And we do a lot of stuff. We have a monthly contract, and we help them with their websites. But we had this little short conversation. We're always, we always are asking each other how we're doing. And he asked how I was doing, how my business was. And I was able to report doing really well. We're actually experiencing growth. And I mentioned the fact that, my goal is that I make sure I continue to take care of you and everyone else and what we already have. And he agreed. And he said to me, he's like, that's a problem that happens with a lot of agencies is they lose control as they try to grow. And they are trying so hard to scale up that they kind of start slipping in other areas and not taking care of their current client base or customer base. So, and that is a challenge, and it's something that I'm trying to meet. And that is why I had to figure out this year how I was going to manage getting help with project management, with managing tasks, assigning tasks, overseeing everything. Because believe it or not, when you're one person, you can't see everything all the time. Especially as you scale up, you start to lose track of things. Now you can have routines, you can have habits, daily habit to go check everything. But when everything becomes a lot, it becomes challenging to keep up with that. Especially if you're pulled into projects or you're pulled into team stuff or you're pulled into others, because there's a lot of things as a business owner, as an agency owner, a lot of things are competing for your time. And the bigger you get, the more that becomes a thing. And especially if you're trying to go out and get more business or have new projects that will hopefully expand your business, it becomes harder to stay on top of all that stuff. And that's when things really start slipping. So by this summer, this is 2022, whenever you're listening to this, it's November, mid-November. But by this particular summer, this last summer, I was really feeling like I was starting to lose a little bit of control. And how I identified that was that I had one or a couple clients or partners that were following up with me too much. Matt, how are we doing on that? Matt, how you doing on that? Any word on this? So that is alarm bells for me, because that shouldn't happen. That is not my goal. Is to be able to capture everything and handle it, or at least communicate back how something's going. That's the ideal situation. If something does get delayed or whatever, it's communicated. We didn't forget about it. It's right here. This is where we're at with it. Give them regular updates. That's what we do. And when I start to slip in that department, that's when I knew I had to get some help. And that's why I got the project manager, Donna. And she has basically helped me create this framework for project management so I can get help. And I need to build it in a certain way where it's scalable. Because as I see things developing, like she's going to help me with this portion of the business, these clients, these tasks, these project management centers, whatever you want to call them, these different points of contact that we have. She's going to handle those. So I can go over here and handle this. But eventually, we might both reach that point where we're stretched. So we have to bring somebody else in. Well, now I have that framework, and I can build somebody else in. So I will eventually probably have a team of project managers, or you might call them, some agencies might call them account managers, or maybe there's a hybrid there. I don't know. I just know what they do for me or will do for me and how it's working for us. But so I kind of built that framework. But the reason is so I wouldn't lose control. I wouldn't lose things. I wouldn't start slipping too much where I have a client coming to me and leaving. And it's been great, Matt, but it just doesn't feel like they're keeping up with their stuff and we're going to have to go elsewhere. That's not the conversation I ever want to have, especially with my good clients, right? So it's really, really important to think about that stuff. I'm actually going to reference an article that I found, because I do a little bit, depending on what the topic is here, I do kind of a little bit of research just to kind of get my feel for how I can wrap it all into what I do and how I might structure the conversation. And my goal today was to actually cover a topic that was more specific, and so you can get a lot out of this. And you're here listening to this because of the headline and because I'm going to be talking about this particular topic. But I want to make sure it's structured well so you can come away with some ideas or inspiration or some wisdom. So I will actually put this probably in the video. If you're not watching the video, I'll just tell you where it's at. There's a website called agencyanalytics.com. They have a blog. So agencyanalytics.com/blog/client retention, client-retention. I just found them on Google. I think I've seen Agency Analytics before. I don't think it's designed for marketing agencies. They got a cool front page. Check them out. Could be legit. Probably is. They put enough time into their site, so they probably are legit. So I haven't done anything with them. I'm not affiliated with them at all. I just like their article. So the article is 8 keys is that the name of the article? The Client Retention, 8 Proven Ways to Keep Clients Around Longer. Now, they kind of go into the definitions first here, which is always good, right? What's the difference between acquisition, retention? Obviously, when you're acquiring clients, you're going out and you're either following up on lead systems or you're doing your networking, you're getting referrals, maybe you're doing advertising, whatever you're doing, you're acquiring clients. And retention is how long you keep those clients. Now, that might be, I can personally think of that in different ways, right? It's how long do we have a contract with somebody, or how long do we have a relationship with somebody? Because some of our stuff is monthly contracts, retainers. Those are great. But we also just have relationships with partners where it's case by case, project by project, website by website. We manage websites. So we've been in business this is the end of our fourth year. So we're going into our fifth year. I have clients going back to that first year that I got that are still with me. We're talking about retention. That's a good thing, right? But over those years, I've done numerous projects, and I still am called on to manage websites that we were managing years ago. So that is retention. That is, we're with that client. We're helping out when they need it. Maybe it's hourly based, but it can be project based if we're going to build a website or do something else like that, or a landing page or whatever. And that's retention. But we also have like maintenance contracts where we have a monthly amount we get from somebody to stay on call, to maintain their websites, keeping everything up to date and working well, an well-oiled machine. But also we can build things. We got different tiers of maintenance. We have tiers where we also do other stuff, like building features and doing design work and helping create a roadmap for them to get better. So we have all that stuff, right? But that means so those are kind of the couple avenues we have in terms of an agency and our retention. It's like we get them. That could have been a referral, oftentimes is for us, or somebody that finds us on social media. We've had a number of people find us on LinkedIn, for example, they reach out to me, we get on a call, it turns into something awesome. But that's great. That opens the door. But now, and then we might do something initially, but now how do I keep that relationship going? Now, looking at this article again, they kind of go into calculations and stuff, and ask the question, what is a good retention rate? And they say it, you can get a million different answers, but, for me, it's like, as long as possible. I have I have people drop off, like, maybe somebody we did some work for, and for whatever reason, they just drop off, whether it's a direct client or agency, or they don't do much. And that could be on them. They're just not doing a lot or whatever. But we have some really good relationships. Like the one I just mentioned, that's an agency, a digital marketing agency that we've been doing work for almost the 4 years. We have another digital marketing company that does a lot of promotions and stuff, a couple years. We have, I think I mentioned earlier in this conversation, there's somebody that I was having a conversation with this past day about this very topic. We've been working together for over a year and a half. We have a number of them like that, right? We had monthly contracts that have been long-term. So we figured out how to retain people. And again, as long as we're providing value and we're doing what we came to the table to do, generally speaking, we keep those relationships going. But there's a lot to it. So and that's why I really like this article, and that's why I'm kind of using this, because it does break it down a little bit more here as to the whys. So they have a section of 8 keys to improving client retention. The first key is ensure your client is a great fit. Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? If they're not a good fit, they're probably not going to last very long, right? That can be applied to so many different things. When I was in selling memberships back in the 2000s, and I sold thousands of memberships, we had several membership sites in those years. We had one called Web Profit School. I had some partners I went with or built that with. Then it was Extreme Profits, and I had some other spin-offs from that. Affiliate Dynamo, Easy Websites, all these little micro memberships. Extreme Profits especially, though, I had a number of affiliates that would promote us. And we got on some webinars, I did. And would provide value on that webinar, show them what we're doing, and then, they'd get an affiliate link at the end to sign up. And that's great. But just because you get 300 people signing up for your membership doesn't mean they're all going to stick around. So what's important is how many of those 300 are going to be there in month 2, month 3, month 6. You have to provide value, but it's also important that it's a great fit. So you have to ensure that the audience that you're targeting and the people you're targeting and what you're offering, there's really good alignment there. When we sell a maintenance program at Unified Web Design, I have to make sure that there's a really good fit that just makes total sense for that client. It can solve a really big problem up front, right? Usually that's why we're talking to begin with, whether that's a problem with their current team and the people helping them now that are failing them. This is kind of stuff that happens, right? Or it's, our website's crashing and we're trying to do promotions and it's crashing. We're on a terrible server. There's some pain point there we're coming in with. But then if we're going to do a maintenance contract, we have to express the value of us staying around, right? I had a maintenance contract where it was very similar to what I just mentioned, where they were really struggling with their site. They were having a lot of problems. The site was getting hacked. It was just a mess, and they're trying to run a business. The first, I think it was 5 or 6 months, the monthly retainer was larger because I had a lot to get a handle on. There's a lot more work up front, right? So in that time frame, my value was getting all that under control. Everything identified, figured out what's going on, and literally we have no idea what's going on. Even what's going on with the server, where the server lived. We don't know any of this stuff. Get them organized, get them under control. And then we had a conversation after that. Okay, so what do you need now? Can it be less money now because you're not doing as much? So once we got the website under control, now it's just maintaining it, so it wasn't as much of an effort. So we settled on another retainer amount, and we've been doing that for almost a year now. But even in this past year, I've had to make sure that we take care of that website. We've done even more stuff for them, kind of a roadmap in various areas to get them even better. And then just to be there for them when they inquire, when they need help, is to be available, right? And no matter what else is going on in my business, making sure that, hey, I'm there when they need us. So, but it was a great fit for them because it's really important for them to keep their website up. They don't want to have to worry about their website going down during their next promotion. And they're doing a lot of them. It's a very promotion-heavy business. And it's the same way with all our other clients. Another client, very similar situation. They're very big. Most of their business, 80-90% of their business is search traffic. So they have to be really good. They have to have a website that's well optimized, fast, and makes Google happy. That's what we're there to do. We're there to maintain it. But we also have other projects within that to help them improve or to be there when they need a feature or something done. But I mean, it's a big business. It's an e-commerce store, and there's a lot always going on. They're doing a lot of promotions too. They're running ads and doing all this stuff. We have to, for us to be there, what are we doing? We're taking a lot of that stress off. We're there when they need us, and we're a good fit that way. You know, when I take on somebody, like I said, they oftentimes have a lot of pain points. We can solve that pain point and then be there for them and communicate the benefits of us being there. You know, it's really, really important. So if you can't communicate, if somebody can't see the value in what you provide long term, they're not going to stick around. When I ran those memberships years ago, I had to show up every month, well, throughout the month, and provide value, whether that was through content, whether that was through products they could use. We created software for them. We gave them resale rights to things. We did all kinds of, it was a whole thing. But every month we had to continue to provide that value. And if we stop doing that, if we stop showing up and there's crickets, it's going to be very easy for them to hit the cancel button. Got to keep them engaged. Keep sending to that list. Keep them coming back. Give them a reason to go back into the forum. Give them a reason to go back and check out your members area. Same for what we're doing here on the services side. Got to give them a reason. You can't let them forget about you. You cannot let a month or a couple months go by without reaching out to them for something. Checking in with them. See what they're doing. You know, see what their needs are. Or tell them what you're doing, right? When we do things, like we might be doing things, sometimes the client doesn't even know what we're doing on the maintenance side because we're trying to, you know, get something going on the code side to improve something. If I don't say anything, they don't know I'm doing that. But if I do say something and say, you know what, we're doing an update to your theme. We're going to improve this part of the theme. We're, you know, they'll know we're doing stuff. I'm like, okay, that's good value, you know, because they're improving our theme. They're improving our website. You also, so the second point here is take their goals seriously. And that's really, really important. You have to understand the business goals when it comes to your clients and make sure they're in line. Make sure you're doing the things that help them achieve those goals. What are they focused on? If their goal for the person I just mentioned that cares about Google, right? Cares about that traffic. We have to make sure that we're doing all the things that are going to maintain what they have, but also to help them improve their speed or do those things to improve the efficiency of their site, their performance. If the goal of a website, I know it sounds like, it might sound kind of dumb. It's like, oh, you know, our goal is to keep our website online. But if you're doing promotions all the time, that's really, really, really important, right? We have a digital marketing company. I think I mentioned that one of them. And they do a lot of promotions. They're not so much about keeping the websites up. They're doing these like webinars and doing all this stuff. So the websites aren't long lived. They're landing pages or funnels or all this stuff. But we have to understand what their goal is with that so we can be as efficient as possible as building those things. They're about speed. They're about getting things designed and built quickly. We were actually building sites for a long time for them, the last couple of years, building landing pages, sales pages, all this stuff for them. Now we're starting, they asked us to start doing design for them. But even in the design side, speed is important. When their copywriter comes to us with some copy, we're going to figure out how we can get these landing pages, get these funnels built, these sales pages built as quickly as possible. So we can get that to our developer who can develop it, translate that design and go. That is the business goal. The business goal is to make money in that case, right? That's really the bottom line. But to move quickly, they have to move quickly. And we have to understand that. We have to meet that challenge, right? So understanding each client's goals. I got other clients. It's not about speed. It's just about maintaining things, keeping things up and running, or keeping Google happy, keep them out of trouble legally. That's a conversation I had recently. So these are things you got to understand, right? Setting the third item here is setting crystal clear expectations. Yeah. They have to understand, what you're doing for them and what they should expect from you. You have to be able to deliver on that, right? You have to understand what their expectations are, right? So, expectations are everything. Setting clear expectations sets your agency up for success. That's what it says right there. You have to understand what's expected of you, and then you have to deliver on that. Really important. Point 4, over-deliver and add value. Whoa. Over-deliver. We've heard that one before. Going the extra mile. When we have a contract, we're trying to meet that contract. Obviously, it's the minimum. But if you can step up and do extra things for them and, over-deliver when you can over-deliver, do things faster than they expected or build it better than they expected, to do something they didn't expect. That's huge. That's huge. When we add value in that way, or if I add some consultation in there, or if I add, there's all kinds of examples of this. We had one of our maintenance contracts when it first started. We were just doing maintenance of the website, web development. That was really the contract, right? Web development, building features here and there and keeping the site running. We actually moved them to a new server and better situation and fix their theme and coding side. And then something came up. They needed a new landing page. And they didn't like their sidebar, how it looked. And I happened to have a designer on hand. And she did an awesome job, blew their minds, and we still do designs here and there. We're designing one of their websites, a landing page on one of their websites this past week or two. But over the last year and a half, we've been doing design work for them. We over-delivered. That's still part of the same package. We never changed the package. We just now do design work for them because it didn't cost us anymore. It's still, it's just part of what we do. So we're adding more. We add more value than what they first signed up for. That creates a great relationship there. They don't have to go somewhere else for design work. They just can do it all through us. It's a beautiful thing. Prioritize the relationship. Let's see what they're saying here. In our experience, clients stay not because of technical competency, but rather their perception of a business relationship. That's really good. Super idea. To think of not your client in terms of just the monetary value of that client, right? Try to build a relationship with that client. Because it's so fresh in my mind, I'm going to bring up the conversation I had with the client yesterday. Hi again, if you're listening to this. But we have been working together for a year and a half. We came in when there was a fire. I solved the fire within a short time frame. He would tell you this story, but there was somebody trying to fix something on his website for like 3 days. He was super frustrated. It wasn't something simple. It was like the hero of the front page. And it's a very busy, very important website. I came in, I had it fixed within a couple hours. And I did the work myself back then. And that was a great thing, right? And then we had a contract. We've started helping them with their website. But since then, we've had a number of meetings. And in those meetings, my dog's snoring. Hopefully, she's not snoring too bad. Well, in those meetings, I usually have her out of the room, but I felt bad. I just kept her in there today. in those meetings, we just got to know each other. Just some literally small talk. A lot of people don't like small talk, but small talk is really important if you want to build a relationship, right? And you get to know their family and you become part of their family. I think he even told me once, you're part of our family now. That's how it should feel, right? And because you're both in business, you're going to struggle, you're going to have successes, vice versa. That was the conversation yesterday. How is your business doing? How is your business doing? And being there to support each other and help each other and celebrate when things are going well, maybe lean on each other when they're not. That's building a relationship. You have to prioritize that. I have another agency where we're trying to do more together. And I suggested this past month, I said, why don't we just jump on a call once a month and just have a conversation and see where we're going, see what we're working on, because we are working on stuff here and there, and see if we can develop something. In the meantime, we're building this relationship. We've been building this relationship I've probably been doing stuff for him, for his agency, a little over a year. But we want to do more. But we've built this foundation of a relationship because we've talked to each other and gotten to know each other. And now we want to, continue that. It's really, really important. It's caring about the other person, looking at them as a friend. When I jump on a call with somebody, well, my energy is a little different to begin with. Actually, it's funny. I'll remember to go back to the story, but it was funny. I got on a call this past week. There's an agency we've been knowing about each other for several years. I know the people that work there. I've gotten to know them. But their project manager, hi again, if you're listening to this, but their project manager. So we go on a call. It was me and then three people from that agency, the web developer, the owner, and then the project manager. But when I got on, the project manager was the only one there, and I don't think I had met him yet. And I remember just telling him, I said, I said, this is my energy. I'm the one that brings enthusiasm to these conversations. He was very serious. He came on very serious. And I'm just there, I just can't help it. I am the same way in our project management systems and stuff, like other clients, other agencies and stuff. I'll be in there. I'm the one with the emojis and having fun and saying, ha ha. I can't help. I enjoy what I do. Anyway, back to this other agency. His name's Brian. Hi, Brian, if you're watching this. That's the weird thing about talking about my business, because, hey, it's a possibility one of my clients is going to be watching this. A few of them follow me. I don't think they watch every episode, but anyway. But when we get on, it's like, hey, how you doing? What's new? What's going on? It's joking back and forth. It's being relaxed. Oftentimes when I get on a call with one of our partners or something, I'll even say like, it's great. Needed this today. Like I feel like this is like, if there's a lot of things going on, like when I get on a call, I'm relaxing. It's like the only thing missing is probably a beer or a campfire, but it's time to relax. It's kick back with my friends. And that's what I try to prioritize in everything that we're doing. Is yes, we're going to get the work done. We're serious about the work, but it's also about being enthusiastic and being enthusiastic about that relationship and caring about that relationship. If you do that too, if you do bond with others, there's going to be a less chance of you ruining that relationship because you do care. You want to make sure they're taken care of. They're your friends now. So you don't want to let your friends down. So you got to be very careful with how you're building things so it doesn't disrupt that and you can retain them. Number 6, be responsive and communicate effectively. And that goes without saying. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, reach out to if you haven't heard from them for a month, reach out to them, see how they're doing. Think of a reason. There's going to be a reason, especially if it's a longer term relationship. There's going to be a reason. I have somebody that they hadn't mentioned something in an email. It was but it was within like a larger thread, and they had offhandedly mentioned something of effect because I had built a website like 3.5 years ago for them, and then we basically took that same website layout, design, and type of website and built that for another one of their clients and did an even better job. Like we added features and all that stuff. And he's like, you know what? This one's even better. And I think I could go out and sell this to this market. And now we were in the middle of a conversation. I didn't even I don't even know if I acknowledged it. Like I read it, but I know that I'm just waiting for that moment. Like if I haven't heard from him for a few weeks, send him a little email. Hey, by the way, if I saw your note regarding that, I wanted to just mention that to you. And if you need anything in that regard, if you need anything to help you sell that, or if you want us to put a demo site up or do anything, or put something together that would help you sell that, just let us know. And that's how you build relationships. That's also how you sell. Give your partners the tools to help them sell. That's why I have a document that breaks down our maintenance plans. That's for our agencies to go out and sell that, so they understand what we're doing, what we are capable of doing, or how to sell. If that's a marketing agency, they may not know how to sell web design. We're here to teach them. So, but in terms of just everyday stuff too, like projects and tasks and getting, like I said, if something's taking a little longer, got to make sure that's done. That's why I got that project manager. That's why I have somebody keeping an eye on things. I actually just got done doing some documentation to kind of solidify some of our communications. And part of that was making sure you touch all those projects and make sure that you keep the clients in the loop, that you don't let it go too long before you jump in and say, we're still working on, even if it's just saying, we're still working on this. Sorry for it's taking so long or whatever. You don't even have to say sorry. Just let you know, we're still working on this. That's it. And then if they have questions about that or it's urgent, communications too is about urgency. So I make sure my clients know. I say, hey, we especially for my long-term clients that have they send us 10 things at once. I'll literally sit them down, not literally, virtually sit them down and say, got a lot in the pipeline at the moment. If there's anything here that is a priority or critical, let me know so we know what to tackle first. All that type of communication has to be happening all the time. And like I said, don't let there be crickets. Don't be too loud. Don't be buggy, right? Like every week you're reaching out every day. But I feel like at least once a month, you should probably be connecting with somebody, one of your clients, and letting them know something or just checking in, see how things are going, anything we can help you with, Number 7, there's only 8, so we're almost done. Number 7, show transparency and own mistakes all the time. All the time. I think no one's perfect, right? Everything we're doing, especially if you're doing a lot, the more you do, the more there's going to be some percentage that you're going to mess something up. You're going to miss something. There was a large project we've been working on for one of our clients. Hi, if you're, watching this, I know it's getting old. But there was there's a lot that can happen in a larger project. A lot of things are happening all at once. And then something comes into the picture that you need to do, but you're working on all this other stuff. And you're like, okay, well, it looks good. We're good. Guys, you got this? Okay, great. And then it kind of gets shelved. And then you get all this other stuff done. And then all of a sudden, we got to do that now. And you bring it on board and you start doing it. You start working on it. And you realize it's not formatted right, or there's some issues that we didn't identify way back here, right? And I own that, right? I let our partner know. I said, this is on me. I should have not assumed that this data was structured properly. I didn't laugh about it. It's serious, but I'm like, we're taking care of it. Don't worry about it. We're handling it. This takes a little outside of scope, but we got it, but that's really important. Anytime that something happens, I have no problem apologizing. And I think your partners, your clients are going to appreciate that, because they want you to be honest, right? They want you to be honest. I mean, as long as it's not like, even if you're working in a company, you're going to make mistakes, but any owner of that company, or the founders, or your managers, or whatever, for them, it's like, you're going to make a mistake here and there, but as long as you don't keep making that same mistake, that's the thing. It's the repetition of those mistakes, and maybe the critical nature of them. Certainly you could make a mistake that's unforgivable, where there's negligence or something like that. That's a whole nother thing. But always don't be afraid to really, communicate that, where the issue was, and that you'll do better next time, right? And number 8 is match to the art of reporting. So I guess that's about results. This is probably leaning more agency analytics. I think it's more towards marketing, but it's the same for, other types of agencies or businesses that have clients. You want to make sure you're going back and communicating what you're doing for them, and what the results of that are. Did we move the needle on performance? Did we, what are those, you can do speed scores, it's a better speed score because we did this and that, there, those type of things, they want to see that you're having an impact, a positive impact and stuff. Even something as simple as, one of our clients where we've been improving their theme. The theme was not built great. And over time we've improved that theme more and more and more. And how I went back and I kind of reported that work we were doing on it is that it's going to be easier for our developers or any future developers to work on this theme now, because it's just better structured, and we had to extract some stuff out of that where it was just a mess. But it's neater. So that just reporting that, not just reporting that you did something, but what the impact of what you did was. Because just to read a little bit more on what they're talking about here. Actually, they're quoting somebody, owner of Magnify, Jacob Hicks. When you can clearly demonstrate your client's ROI, return on investment, from your efforts month over month, it increases your retention rate and keeps clients paying you month after month. You have to show them a return on investment. What is that? What is your worth to them? You have to establish your value. Now, with all this, that's about it in that article. Go check it out if you haven't. Maybe there's the URL again. But with all of that, all those things are actually really, really do help with retention. Super important. But the other thing is, I'm going to put a number 9 here, is to control your growth. Now, we all want to grow. We all want to kick butt and get more clients and do more stuff, and but you have to do it in a controlled way. I'm afraid that, I was thinking about this earlier when I was thinking about doing this topic, and I knew growth was going to be my number 9. I think about all the, so as an agency that's going into their 5th year, that's pretty good for any business, right? It's good. A lot of businesses fail by the 5th year, a huge number, right? And I just was thinking, I'm like, gosh, how much of that is just uncontrolled growth or trying to grow too fast? And the problem is there's so many, there's coaches out there. There's, maybe I even had one or two on this podcast, but there is a crowd for that, right? There's people want that fast growth. And it was pitched to me, gonna, turn you into this huge company within a year. And I think there's obviously a place for that, and maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe it makes sense with certain models, business models, especially if you want to flip something real quick and all that good stuff. For me, I'm kind of in this for the long haul, right? But I think about all those failed businesses and how many of them just tried to grow too fast and they lost the retention. They lost sight of, the business and taking care of their customers or their clients. They're just focused on just funneling in more sales, and not scaling the team with it too. It's just a delicate balance. Like I said, this summer, I was feeling it. I was starting to sense, when you're, you got to trust your gut. You got to trust your gut, especially if you're in the business for a number of years. You're going to know when things are getting a little out of control, and there's going to be signs. That sign where I had one of our agency partners reaching out to me asking where things were, they weren't upset about it. We have a good relationship, right? But Matt, where is that? How's that going, Matt? But I took that as a sign. I knew I needed to implement something. And it was not only just the project manager, but also I kind of at the same time retooled our flow in terms of how we onboard stuff, where requests are sent. We're leveraging our help desk more, Zendesk. So even that particular agency, they're sending stuff through Zendesk more. That enables me now with, as the team scales, to be able to get that stuff assigned and all that stuff onboarded with less of my input. But that was super important, I think. And that was, again, the conversation I had yesterday with one of my clients, that he knew that I had, he's like, that was a really good idea, leveraging your help desk more. Because it's in that situation, there's like a large customer service team, like, I don't know, a couple dozen. I don't know how many they have. I know how many are in the site, but I don't know they're like the large picture. But they got a lot. And then it's the owner, and then there's a marketing person and all this. Now, when I implemented this, he was just like, just as long as I can still call you for emergencies directly. So he still emails me directly when we're doing stuff. So that hasn't changed. It's just a lot of this other smaller stuff, and their support staff can all go through our Zendesk. So, and that's part of the retention there too, is like, if I'm getting, and I had this concern actually as I was doing this, I had somebody else that we do business with. He was concerned that he would not be able to interact with me as much. And I assured him, I said, the whole reason I'm doing this is so I can continue to interact with you. Because if I can structure it properly, it actually allows me more time to strategize, to work out solutions and talk about features and communicate directly with our accounts and stuff. If I get help around me to keep an eye on things, I'm able to do more for them. So that was something that they appreciated. But it was the same for him. He was just like, he has a very busy e-commerce store. So if something goes down for an hour, they're losing money, right? It's, so if there's something like that happens, or there's just something critical going on, he wants to be assured that he can still talk to Matt, and continue that relationship. Just like yesterday, he's like, just out of the blue, he's like, Matt, can you jump on a quick call? Call probably went 30 minutes. And during that call, how's the family? How's business? But that's really, really important. That's all about retention. But as you grow, as I think about how I grow, I've never wanted to be like, I don't think about my long term. Like I don't want an agency with 1,000 people working here. Could it happen? Sure. And if it happens organically and safely, I'm good. It might happen. And one account, we could get one account that's a large enough account where I'm going to have to hire a bunch of people to build a team around that particular project. That's fine. That could happen. But regardless of what it is, though, I'm the type of person, I do not want anybody that I've already got on board, that I already have on board, that I've built relationships with. I don't want those to go away. And sometimes those relationships that you're cultivating turn into something bigger over time. Some don't. Some fizzle out. But like I think I mentioned it during this conversation, we had somebody who'd been doing development work for a couple of years, and now they want us to do design work for them. What was the one with the funnels and stuff? Now we're working on their brand. We're actually going to create a style brand, a style guide for them and all this. And that happened 2 years after we started that relationship. And the only reason that's happened is because we've proven ourselves in this other area, and we've just been there for them this whole time. And we built a great relationship. So that's it. Hopefully you found this interesting. I think it's a really, really important part of any business is to care about retention. Whether you're selling memberships or you just have repeat customers, or you're an agency and you are selling services, whether it's just one-off services, maybe you just, whether it's an agency relationship or just a direct client, somebody you're just going to once in a while and doing something, or those retainers that I love. All of them require you to care and do all the things we discussed today. Again, great article. Go check that out. It'll refresh your memory on everything I talked about too. My goal with that, kind of a format, I don't know. I think I've done something similar to this a couple times, but it's nice. It's nice to speak to that and see somebody else's thoughts, but then kind of bake in my own experience from the trenches. All right. Before I babble on forever, until next time, take care and good luck. That's all for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, please subscribe if you haven't already and give us a thumbs up if we deserve it. If you want to comment on this episode's page, provide me with requests on topics for future episodes, or inquire about being a guest, please find your way to thebuilders.fm. You can contact me there or add a comment under these show notes. Now a word from our sponsor, my agency, Unified Web Design. We build custom websites, features, we maintain websites, we work with agencies to fulfill their web design and development needs, and more. If you are interested in our services or are looking for an agency to work with as a partner to build awesome sites for your clients, feel free to reach out to me at unifiedwebdesign.com. There's a handy contact me link at the top. Fill out that form and it will open a ticket, and that ticket will find its way to me. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you next time.